What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be doing some cooking. This is a simple, easy recipe for crock pot Swedish meatballs. So if you're a single dude out there, or maybe married, or maybe just some lady who doesn't know how to cook, and you want to do something in the crock pot, this is really simple. You basically throw a bunch of crap in there, let it cook for 4 hours, and you're pretty much done. Alright, so for ingredients, we're going to need beef broth, steak sauce, which I bought because I don't use it, Worcestershire sauce. We're going to need 1 can of creamy mushroom soup. I got the unsalted. 1 medium onion. We're going to need some sour cream. Then we're going to need some seasonings like garlic powder, black pepper, which is in a pepper mill. Then we need some paprika, my favorite, smoked paprika. Although it does make a huge flavor difference. So regular paprika is probably better for you. Ideally, some fresh parsley. I don't have fresh, so we got the dried stuff. Then, of course, what makes this easy is you're putting in meatballs. Alright, so a bag of frozen meatballs for this recipe, 26-ounce bag. Of course, this is going to all make like a sauce. If you want more meatballs, that's fine. If you're one person, you don't like leftovers, maybe use a smaller bag. Then, of course, we need something to serve it with. In this case, traditionally, it is egg noodles. So I got some Pennsylvania Dutch extra wide egg noodles. If you don't like this or you don't want the pasta, you can eat these by themselves. Or if this is being served as like an appetizer at a party or something, then nix the egg noodles, just make the meatballs, put them on a plate or leave them in the crock pot, stick some toothpicks in there, and you're done. Alright, so the first step here is to mix together 2 cups of our beef broth. Alright, so I'm going to measure that out. I'm going to pour that into the crock pot and mix that with our soup. Alright, so let's start there. Crack this guy open. Alright, I want 2 cups. And that is right there. Perfect. Alright, 2 cups of our broth. And we're going to whisk that with our soup. Alright, kind of blend it together. So let's get that in there carefully without splashing. Oh yeah, that looks delicious, doesn't it? Trust me, it will be delicious. Alright, so that goes in the garbage. Then we got our whisk. Alright, gently break that up. Now, as you can see, I went with the no sodium or low sodium, whatever that was, for the soup, and I'm not going to actually add in any salt. I'm going to do all my salting at the very end. Alright, but if you want to keep it simple, if you use regular condensed soup with the sodium, then I wouldn't add any salt at all, since that stuff's really salty. Alright, so just mix this up really good. And that's good. Alright, next step. Alright, so next we're adding in our steak sauce. This is going to be 2 tablespoons. Not teaspoons, tablespoons. So let's do that. Now, I do not put steak sauce on my steak. Personally, I think that's blasphemy. So I had to buy it for this recipe. Alright, so we want 2 tablespoons. 1 and 2. Next is the Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, which I guess is how it's pronounced. Alright, so we want 1 tablespoon of that. And there it is. Alright, next up here is 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Huge fan of garlic powder. So I'll make that a big one. Okay. Next up, a half a teaspoon of your paprika of choice. You can use sweet, smoked, hot, whatever you like. But most people probably just use regular paprika. Alright, there's a little bit more than a half. Then you want a half teaspoon of your pepper, which I'm going to eyeball. I don't mind a little extra pepper, so get some of that in there. That looks good. Now the next step is to add the salt, but again, I'm going to do that at the very end. Feel free to do whatever you want. Next, we're going to chop up our onion, so let's do that. Alright, cutting board, onion, awesome knife. This is the Man Kitchen knife. This thing is seriously impressive with BD1N. All right, so toss in your onion. And keep in mind here too, you don't have to use all this onion. It's whatever your personal liking is. I mean, this is just to flavor the sauce. All right, we're gonna whisk that together. All right, so everything's all blended. And we're going to dump in our meatballs. Right. So the whole bag goes in. Carefully, make sure you don't splash. And again, whatever frozen meatballs you happen to prefer. If you really wanted to, you can make this complicated and you can make your meatballs first. Then it just won't cook as long. Alright, so just make sure those are kind of covered. Don't trap one inside your whisk like I just did. Okay, don't need a whisk anymore. Let's grab, let's grab this little flat wooden spoon. All right, so just make sure those are kind of covered. And that is it for now. We're gonna go ahead and move our crock pot, plug it in. We're gonna cook this on high for 4 hours. And then when we're done, we're gonna check on them, make sure everything's good to go. That's when we're gonna add our sour cream and then cook it, you know, another 15 or 20 minutes just to heat it up. All right, it's been 4 hours. Foggy. Okay, get rid of the fog. We're gonna stir this up a little bit. Smells phenomenal, but we're not done yet. We're gonna give it, or at least I'm gonna give it, a little shake of parsley. You don't have to do this. Put a little on top at the end. And we have to add in a cup of sour cream. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so sour cream is in. Let's go ahead and give that a stir around. And then we're going to cook this basically to get it back up to heat because the sour cream is going to cool it off just a little bit. But I would say about 20 minutes or so, you are good to go. Now, once you put your sour cream in, at that point, you could start cooking your egg noodles if that's what you're going to do with this. Otherwise, you just wait until it's all done. And this makes a fantastic appetizer. But in this case, it's going to be a dinner. Alright, so I'm going to make sure this is nice and mixed up here. And the sour cream, I mean, it's a pretty rich sauce, so the sour cream kind of cuts that a little bit, so it's not as strong. Of course, you could try this without the sour cream. So yeah, put the top back on, let this cook for another 20 minutes. I'm going to plate it up. Alright, so everything's done. Egg noodles on the side. There's our meatballs and our sauce. Let's grab a bowl here. Put some egg noodles in here. And of course, you could serve this on a plate, which is probably a little easier in a bowl. Everything's super hot, so the sauce is still a little runny, you know, a little bit thin. As that cools off, it'll thicken up. So you have our egg noodles. And you got a little ladle. Let's get some meatballs and some sauce. Put that right on top. Get a couple more meatballs. I think there's maybe a little bit more sauce. Alright, right on top. So there we go. We're going to hit that with a little bit more parsley, just because it looks nice. Fresh parsley actually does taste good. Dry, I don't really care, but it looks pretty presentable, huh? Alright, so there it is. Now we just have to taste test it. Alright, so let's go ahead and break one of these meatballs in half. And this is still screaming hot. I'd probably let this cool off a little bit. We're going to give this a little bite. So half a meatball. Let's get one of those noodles. Alright, cheers. Yeah, that is a-okay with me. Just kind of classic Swedish meatballs. You know, it's a very specific sauce. You can taste the onion. It's very rich, deep. The steak sauce and that Worcestershire sauce, that kind of comes together, gives it that dark, deep flavor, if you will. So it's a kind of a cream gravy. It's really good though. If you've never had it before, it's definitely worth trying. If you're used to having Swedish meatballs, maybe your grandmother has a recipe, or a neighbor, or an old teacher or something, maybe it's better than this, but this is really easy to do, very straightforward. Anyone can make this, just another dinner idea. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you happen to have a Swedish meatball recipe, please post it down below. I'll certainly try it out in the future. This is just a quick, easy go-to. Throw everything in a pot, You can do whatever for 4 hours, come back, it's pretty much done. Throw in the sour cream, which is optional, you don't have to. I like it like that, it's just, you know, how it's supposed to be done, but the gravy's just a little bit richer without it. So that's it. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.